Welcome, everybody, to the Competition Archery Media Podcast, where we explore all things pertaining to competition archery. I'm your host, PJ Riley, and the CAM Podcast is brought to you by B3 Archery. And with us today, fresh off of not one, not two, but three 3D Archery Pro Class wins, Emily McCarthy. Emily, thanks for being here.
Absolutely. Thanks for taking time to do this.
And you might as well introduce your coach there as well.
This is my coach, Groot, which I think most of you, if any one of you follow me, you always see I have tons of pictures of him. He's always helping, spectating, and so this is my other coach. His name's Rocket.
Okay.
He's always out there.
Rocket and Groot. Gotcha.
Rocket and Groot.
Obviously they've been earning their keep lately. Your back-to-back wins.
Yeah, they get all the treats they want and squeaky toys.
Well, so Emily, I went back through and looked through some of your records. ASA, that's all I can look up. I can't look up the IBO wins. But I haven't seen a stretch like that of 3 in a row pro class wins. Do you have a stretch like that in your past somewhere? It would have to be IBO.
Not that I remember. I remember winning like Franklin and Metropolis in a row in the past.
Gotcha.
And then I don't know.
Yeah.
No, because there's always been Ohio in between that and the Classic. So
how does that feel? 3 wins in a row.
It feels like a blessing. It's like one of those things that it's so hard to win in our class, especially unknown yardage. I don't think people really understand the work that goes into unknown yardage and how easy it is to make one mistake and how the entire event can be gone in no time. For instance, 100%. Yesterday I was practicing. I shot 3 targets. I waited for the storm to pass. I sat in a shed for 2.5 hours, and I went out there and I shot the Havy at like 42 yards, barely missed the 12, the Coyote at 50, hit the 12, and then stepped up to one of the deer and totally aimed at the 12 and blanked it. I was 5 yards off. And I was just like, all right, here we go. This is unknown yardage. It's a matter of decision-making, confidence, and having it right, all the way down to like the distance.
Yeah. And I know IBO, there's no gifts out there. I know those folks tend to set some challenging, difficult courses.
They definitely do. And we were, I was mostly focused on winning the Triple Crown because I've never won that before. And that was like what I went into the weekend dreaming of, not knowing if I was even like hoping,
right.
Like dreaming. And day 2, I led the Bobcat, which is this tiny little target. And
yes.
I've led him every tournament this year. And I have led him from a 5 to an 8 to this a couple of days ago, a 10. And I was like, so like excited because that's like a gift on that target. And here comes the one who's right behind me, Cora, and she 11s it. And it was just like, and then Kaylee 11s it. And it was just like, nothing gained here, nothing gained.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that as well. Triple Crown champion as well to add to the list there. I liked what you said there about like just one mistake over 40 targets. You can shoot 39 awesome targets. And that's what always gets me in your judging game. I mean, I misjudge stuff all the time, so it's pretty common for me, but that is what always amazes me about you unknown distance. I'm like, why don't they make mistakes or make as big a mistakes as I do?
Oh, I do. I played one in Louisiana this year, and then Then just missed the shoot off. Yeah, it's just I feel like the beginning of my season, I came to Foley. And we hadn't been outside, hadn't judged anything. And I ended up leading. I was tied for the lead after day 1 or 2 points behind Kaylee, somewhere in there. Like I was pleasantly surprised by the outcome.
Yeah.
And then I ended up going in the shoot off and podium, thankfully. But then after that, it was just a struggle for me. Like I just first one out, 2 points out of the shoot off, or half to 12 this last target to make the shoot off and shoot an 8. So it was just like, I don't know. Sometimes you wonder if you're ever going to, you're ever going to succeed again.
Yeah,
I don't know if that makes sense.
Well, that was another thing I wanted to talk with you about. But before I get too deep in case folks don't know, we should list the tournaments there. It was the second leg IBO in Franklin. That was your first of these three. Then it was the Matthews Pro-Am ASA in Metropolis was the second. And then the third leg of the IBO Triple Crown in Nelsonville. Those were the three tournaments that you won here. But yeah, so I would say, and just looking at the wins that I saw through the years, is I would have to say resilience has to be another thing to describe you as, because I saw you started shooting ASA 2009. I had no idea, but in Women's Open, and then as a pro in 2012, I believe I saw. You had your first win in 2016, and then there was a long period, I think it was till 2021, like 5 years, where you had a bunch of seconds and thirds, but no wins. And so, yeah, I would think, I mean, for me, 5 years, I'd be like, man, like you said, yeah, is this ever going to get right? How do I get the win? What's your mental process in all of that, getting past all that?
I mean, I don't know. I train really, 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 really hard. And I know that most of the time out there on the range, it's my decision making. For ASA, that definitely cost me an event. Like, to always cost me a loss, because I'm horrible at decision making.
Aggressive? So, like, would you say you're aggressive or?
Yeah, I would say I'm very aggressive. And sometimes, like, I try to use, let's take one Metropolis a couple years ago. I was in the lead and I knew the group in front of me blanked the target, and I thought I heard them say low. And so I literally had like 5 targets of the day left, and I was shooting it outrageously good and judging well. And so I had to lead that next target. It was a Wolverine. And I looked at it and I tried to like make it far instead of just like shooting it, because like the person who blanked it in front of me, I mean, who knows what they shot it for?
Yeah,
but
right.
Instead, I added like 5 yards, which was so dumb. And I went over its back. And like my original number I judged it for was like 1.5 yards too much, which would have been perfect for aiming at lower.
Yeah.
But instead, I shot over its back. And so that's what I mean. Like, I feel like for me, it's just, I almost want to say I try too hard instead of just believe in myself. Like I try to use everything there is when really all it does is hurt me. Instead of like at home when I practice on the range, I can shoot lights out because there's nobody else's arrow there. I'm not like, oh man, Cara shot high. What did she shoot that for? Like, am I judging it high? Maybe I should cut 5 low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like, just learning to just be okay with failing when I'm at an event is something I feel like I've struggled with, even though all I feel like I do is fail at times, if that makes any sense.
I like hearing that because I do exactly that. Obviously, I'm not on the pro level, but I could see myself totally, oh, that guy, I heard that one miss, you know, instead of just like you said, just using your own process. This is what I do. I'd be looking for extra little things coming in from the side. Oh, what did they do? They were low. What did they? Yeah. I think people can relate to, I know I can relate to that anyway, because I think that's just normal. Because you're like, I want to get an edge. How do I get it? Right. Yeah.
It's a crazy mind game. We're like IBO is just drawback. You judge it, you walk up, you judge it, you shoot center. So there's not the game's missing. The horrible decision making's missing. I mean, there's still the ability to make horrible decisions, but do I aim it up or do I aim it lower? Do I add 3, aim it lower, call up, or like all the crazy things, like while I'm aiming, the things that go through my head is insane. So like IBO is almost a relaxing weekend because it's just like, it's, even though the targets are trickier because you can misjudge a target by 2 or 3 yards in IBO, and on some of them you're a 5. Like it's crazy. Like the rings are not extremely small compared to what we shoot in ASA.
Yeah.
and they set them really, really tricky. But it is a little bit more relaxing for somebody's brain like me, where you're just like, okay, well, draw back, wing it.
Just aim the middle.
Aim in the middle. So I don't know. I guess how I would describe, like, for me, this last weekend was just like, I've had these tournaments in the past where it's just like you draw back, you aim, you're relaxed, you're calm, and it just fires easy, fires in the middle, and it hits behind the pin, and you're just like, thank you, God, for that one. Now let's try it again on the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
And those are I think what keeps me when I have like lulls of like failing, that's what keeps me dreaming of it, because that's an unusual feeling where you're just like, you're super confident. And
yeah.
I've chased that feeling. I've had it rare. I've had lots of moments of it.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing feeling.
I like that. Moments of it. Yes, I get those. And then moments of, holy crap, what just happened right there? So
Yep.
I've mentioned this in the shoot down several times. I'm watching from the outside, but from my perspective, the last couple years, when you've gotten into the ASA shoot downs, I see another gear. That's what I see. I don't know what's happening to you. Do you feel like something different happens to you in the shoot downs? Like when you get in there, man, there have been several tournaments where you just don't miss. And I don't know. To me, it just seems like that's how I describe it, as another gear. Is that what you're seeing, or am I like way off base with that?
No, that's what I'm feeling. I have severe ADHD, so focusing is an excessively hard thing for me. So like shooting 40 targets for score and staying focused on all 40 targets, and like doing my game plan and then not doing all these other crazy things out there is something I struggle with. So then when I get to a shoot off, like I want to win so bad. And it's just like nothing else exists out there. And I'm hyper focused, and I just know I just need to, like in the past, I can remember like 7 years ago, like I'd be waving and like, oh, like ADHD Emily all over the place, like good shot, Cara, like 5 targets over, like not paying any attention to me. And, and I feel like, I know Derek's given me a lot of lectures over the past years, but I know one of them, quite a few years ago, was like, he told me like, I need to find the eye of the tiger. Like I have the potential to do well and win. I just need to focus. And, And I try, and I feel like I do. I feel like in a shoot off, like nothing else, I don't notice anything else out there except for like getting my number right. And I want to hit this 12. Like, how am I going to hit this 12? What's it going to take? And then like, that's all that matters out there. So like win or lose, it's a little different than the qualifying round for me. I just need to figure out how to get that in 40 targets.
To make it easier on yourself in the shoot
down. Yeah, just where it's just like, what else?
Yeah. And now, I don't know if I know this, but how do you judge targets? I don't know if I know that.
I judge honestly, I judge just looking, like just depth perception. Mm-hmm. I literally walk up to it and I just like, how far does that look? Like, does it look hard? Does it not look hard? And generally a number pops up. It's generally always an odd number because I'm obsessed with odd numbers. So then I try to make it that odd number. I do sometimes look for 20 yards just to kind of get a grasp of like where 20 yards. I'm a horrible 20-yard judger. I've actually just lately started clicking what I guess 20 yards is. No. I don't even know no. So I don't know. I literally just look at it and I try to envision, like a lot of times I'll try to envision, and like if I'm hyper focused, if I'm where I need to be, I'll look at it and be like, what would I need to shoot at the 14 in a shoot off? Like if I really had to win, what would this number be? Not what could it be? What is it? And then picking it and believing in it. And then being satisfied with wherever it leads, because believing in it is a whole nother thing with unknown yardage, because sometimes I notice I let down a lot when I don't believe in my number, because I'm thinking about it the entire time while I'm aiming. Like, is this the right number? Like, is this right? And then it doesn't make for a perfect shot. And so believing in it and committing to it is something I've always tried to work on, and I'm still working on it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because when it's unknown and I know for me, the whole time the shot's breaking, I'm sitting there thinking, that's not right. You're too high. You better bring that down or up or whatever. It's never just, this is going to smash it.
In those tournaments where you feel it like that, it's unbelievable. It's just like, And then you're just like, wow, it did hit behind the pin. And like, I shock myself sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, that was awesome.
That's cool. Well, so like a tournament like Metropolis, Matthews Pro-Am there, where the woods you were in this time were pretty thick, and then you come out onto the open. It's mostly open. There's a couple trees out there at the park. Does that mess with you at all, or does it not matter? Like,
honestly, I've shined in that shoot off. I've had super successful, and I have totally just tanked in that shoot off with my numbers. So honestly, that's one of those that I'm like, I don't know. So I think with that one, it was yard light. And so then I kind of felt like, okay, maybe I might be judging these a little light. So then a couple of them I added, and then there was one. I knew I had way too much number on my sight, but I've only shot them a few times that betted buck because we don't have them at home, and so I've only shot them this season at the events.
Yeah,
and so I've hit them great. I've practiced them and the practice scores, and I hit them low. So like, I really didn't know, but he looked so close, and I was like, don't shoot him in the hoof. So I put a big number and aimed at the lower and hit up by the upper. But I just wanted to stay 10 on that one because I really just didn't have the belief.
Didn't know it, huh?
I didn't know it. But yet my actual initial judge was correct. I just put way too much on it because I was scared.
And is that for being out in the open? Because your IBO shoot-offs, they're always in the open, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the field versus in the woods, does that mess with you at all? Is that difficult for you to deal with?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like depth perception wise, it's a little different, but they're all out there. So you actually have like another target to kind of give you a little bit more perspective of depth. Yeah. The signs that are out there, I kind of try to use those as like an extra thing for depth perception.
How about the indoor shoot-offs? Is that another layer of difficulty?
That's not for me. Oh, you're talking about the indoor 3D.
Yeah, like Foley or Minden.
Yes, that is definitely different because things like I stepped up to the bag this year in Foley and I guessed it for like 35 yards and I think it was 25. Like, oh wow! Nothing looks even close to the same distance indoor. Huh. So yes, those get me a little extra nervous when it comes to like, just like how close are my numbers? How off are my numbers? But then again, like Coleman shoot offs, I've had like where I feel like in the past and that's the problem too. Like you've been in these shoot offs so many times over the years that you have like these remembrance. Like I can remember that I underjudged, like I continuously underjudged in Coleman, but that doesn't mean I'm going to underjudge this season.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So trying to just like forget the past seasons and not like take them into the shoot off is a whole nother.
No, I wouldn't succeed at that. I promise. That would trip me up every time. There's no question.
Yeah. Like, so Franklin this year, last year Franklin was my first event I won, but I had a 6-point lead going into the shoot off, and in IBO in the shoot offs they count center 11s, like if you don't touch the ring is 12, right. And so like people can gain points real fast. Yeah. And I had Erin 6 points behind me, and she comes alive in shoot offs as well, and I think she hit 3 center 11s, and we ended up tied overall. So they had to throw us a sixth and final arrow, which we don't normally have.
Yeah.
And so we both ended up 11ing it, and I shot more center. So I won the event. So this year going into Franklin with Sharon only 3 points behind me, I was more nervous than I think I was telling people than I've ever been in a shoot off in my entire career, which is so weird. But like, I think I just wanted that first win. I just wanted a win for the season. And my knees were buckling. I'm telling you, my quiver, like I was literally while I'm aiming on the cat, picturing myself face planting it. Like that's how bad my anxiety was. So then to see me turn around the next weekend and go to Metropolis and there was no nerves, it was just like, I'm here to win. Like, I don't know. It was two different girls. Like I can't even explain to you how bad my knees were trembling in that shoot off in Franklin.
But you won.
But I won, and I ended up shooting well in it, and I think I won by quite a few points. But like, it was still like, I don't know. It was crazy. I can't even explain to you the
does
nerves.
A win feeling like that to you? Does that feel like more of accomplishment than when you're like, yeah, I got this?
You know, I don't know. I think they all just feel like super accomplishment because I might not ever win another tournament ever again in my career, ever.
Do you really think that at times?
I do. I really do. Yeah. I train really, really hard.
Yeah.
And I work really, really hard. And I'm shooting really well at home, but then I get to tournaments and it's just like, I don't know where the girl was that was at home.
What's it like for you? I don't think I've ever asked you. What's it like for you? So you're definitely in ASA. That's where I see you. I hear the crowd difference. When they call your name, boom, there's a definite spike in there. I see the little girls running around. Emily McCarthy, you're the one they name. You, Carr, there's several of you, Sharon. But you're definitely one of the people that the little girls look up to and everything. What's that like for you when you're walking around? You know, you've got time in Vendor Village. I'm sure those kids come up to you. What's that like for you? Do you embrace that, or is it kind of, I know some people are like, a little.
I don't really, to me, I don't really think about it. It doesn't faze me, other than I love meeting younger kids that are inspired to do really successful. And I love seeing the younger generation and hearing what their goals are.
Right.
But as for feeling a difference in me versus them, absolutely not.
No, I didn't know if that was like something that you embrace, or if that's part of the game that, you know, some folks, I don't like to mix with the public too much. Some people do, some people don't.
I absolutely love meeting little kids and talking to them and taking pictures with them and doing all that stuff. But I mean, I love hearing about their dreams because I had dreams.
Well, this was going to my next question. Yeah, in 2009, Emily McCarthy, would you have thought that you would be where you are now? Was this the level of success that you were thinking of or hoping for, I guess? But
I guess yes and no. I can't really say back then what I was really thinking. I mean, I knew my dreams, but I know when I first bought my bow, I had huge dreams. Back then, there was no like social media wasn't like this, you know, like you got to flip through catalogs and there was all these pro shooters and Matthews was so cool back then because they're so awesome. Sorry. But they like, back then they had like, I don't know, 200 pros in their catalog. And I was like, I want to be one of those so bad. Like that was my huge dream. And I just remember being like, oh, that is so cool. Or, just how there's posters on the wall of pro shooters and Dan was one of them. And I was just inspired that that's what I wanted to do. And I can't really say like, I would say social media has definitely changed my view on professional archery, in a good and bad way.
Yeah.
So
that's everything.
It's just different. Yeah. It's just different.
So you did 3 years in Women's Open before you went pro. Was your plan always to get to the pro class and compete there?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I shot with Kaylee, and me and Kaylee, we would go back and forth with wins and stuff, and then she moved up. So, and then she started doing really well in women's pro. I was like, I'm going. Like, I wanted to go. I wanted to move up the same year she did, but I just was never going to. Back then, it was Florida, so I always wanted to try to go for rookie of the year.
Oh, okay.
But we never. I never went to all the events, so I finally just decided to go enter in the pro class. I think in London. So like, I never got to shoot for rookie of the year because I only did like 3 pros tournaments that year.
Yeah.
But
and so now
that was my dream. Actually, my dream was to stand on the podium with Alicia McHenry because she was so dominant. Yeah. And then there was Ginger Moorhead, Kelly Ward, like all these people. I just totally was like, oh my gosh, these girls are amazing.
Yeah.
And I remember my first pro podium. I was the only one to stand on the podium because those girls weren't required to come to awards back then. And I just remember being like, crushed my dream.
Where is everybody?
So I've harassed Alicia McHenry over the years for that one.
So 13 years you've been shooting in the pro class now. Did you ever think that you would be shooting it that long? Or are you like, I'm in this for 30 years, 13, I'm only halfway there.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I love shooting archery. Like, I love shooting my bow. So, and I love doing this on the weekend, and I just love the events. I love the people. So yeah, I don't know.
Are you a competitor? Like, were you a competitive person before archery?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Where does that come from? Like, what sports did you do before archery? Or did you do sports?
I did. I mean, younger, did basketball, volleyball. I was a competitive cheerleader in high school, and I was a snowboarder. I had big dreams of being amazing professional snowboarder.
That's how you hurt your shoulder, right?
Yeah, I broke my shoulder. I broke my collarbone a few different times. Yep. That's why I draw my bow so weird, and everyone makes fun of me. So. Hey,
they can make fun all they want when you're winning 3 in a row. No, so that is it that, or is it your family? Like, I'm trying to get where the competitive drive comes from.
Yeah, I think my whole family's very competitive. My little sister's competitive. My uncle was on like the U.S. ski team, the Olympic ski team. Right outside of high school. So like my dad was a big skier. Just very, I come from a very competitive family.
Gotcha.
I mean, all the way down to when I fly home all the time, we play dominoes, and it's just like, I mean, it's the trash talking. It doesn't matter. We're all competitive. I don't think there's really one person in my family that's not very competitive. Maybe my mom. That's about the only one. So
now, does that competition carry over to you and Dan when you're shooting and practicing at home? Are you guys competitive with each other? No. No, I wouldn't say we are. What's that like? So both of you won he didn't win in Franklin, did he? No.
No.
No. Okay. So it's just these last 2 that the both of you won. What's that like when you come home, family and everybody? The reason I'm asking is I see on social media, it seems like people really dig that. They like seeing the 2 of you win. They're like, hey, that's awesome. You know, husband and wife winning like that. I just didn't know if that's extra meaningful to you.
I mean, I feel incredibly blessed in every way that we both have the opportunity to do this and that we both won. I mean, I guess I can't really say either way. It's
I don't know if you go home and on the way home you're saying like, I shot a little better than you this weekend.
No, we don't even talk about it. It's mindset for training for the next event and what we're going to go home and generally change or do different with our equipment.
I
feel like all three of these events I've changed stuff on my equipment.
Well, I'll ask about that in a second, but first of all, but it has to be difficult when the both of you in getting all those Happy Gilmore checks into the Prius, because now you got like stacks of them when the two of you win.
We try to sign them and give them away to younger and people that want to do what we do, and then when they get their own, they can toss ours in the trash, or maybe they just take them and toss them in the trash when they leave. I don't know.
Gotcha. But yeah, so let's talk about your equipment, because one of the things I wanted to ask that I don't know is, I don't know what kind of, we're talking about judging yardage. I don't know what your draw length is or what kind of speed you're getting out of your arrows. What's that like for you?
I'm just over 27. I think I'm 27 and 11/16 is what I measure actually out to. That's what I measured out to last tournament. But I mean, it's changing always a little bit here and there. My speed is 292. I was shooting the 32 or the 38 for a little while, so I was right at 287. Yeah, so
that's pretty fast.
292 is where I sit for speed. This year, IBO or ASA upped their speed limit, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then IBO got rid of the poundage rule, which was incredible for us women. So now I can just shoot the same bow for both events and not have to worry about, because ASA, to get speed, I used to have to shoot like over 61 pounds.
Yeah.
To just get my speed I needed. With my 38 is mostly what it was. So I was shooting like 63 pounds. And then when IBO season would start, I'd switch to the 36 because I couldn't shoot that poundage in IBO. And this year they got rid of that rule.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Now it's 70 for women.
Okay.
I was kind of a big pusher for just to get rid of it.
Yeah,
because as long as we have a speed limit, I think the poundage is, who cares?
Yeah. Huh. So, 290 though, that's pretty good with a 27 and a little bit inch draw length. What diameter arrow are you shooting?
The Black Eagle PS 23s.
The 23s, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just that interests me in the terms of how then accurate you have to be with your judging. Obviously, the faster you are, you get a little more wiggle room in there with what you need to do.
But you don't at the same time. I mean, you definitely do with speed, but with judging, it doesn't take but 1 yard off and maybe not centered perfectly in your peep at 50 yards to shoot a 5. I mean, that's how easy it is to screw up on a Wolverine at 50 yards.
That's stupid. Wolverine.
Guessing the yardage. Because it could be 50 and a half with your rangefinder.
Hate that thing.
Yeah, me too.
I wish they would just put what's the new one? The Bighorn sheep they came out with this year. That's my wheelhouse. That thing's big. It's fat. It's got everything. I'm not going to miss that thing. But the Wolverine, I hate that. Is there a target that you really love and or a target that you really hate in ASA?
I absolutely love the turkey.
The turkey?
I know.
You may be the only one I've ever heard say that.
I love the turkey. The turkey and I, we're like this. And the Wolverine is the Wolverine is my least favorite target. I don't care if he's at 27 yards. I am confused.
Speaking of which, with that, I did the shot of the week with Sharon Wallace, and on your range last time in Metropolis, you guys had some short targets just because the range was flooded, and they couldn't back up the targets where they wanted to. And I noticed that as I was walking down that range, I was like, man, there's several short ones here. But what I found interesting was anyone I went to, the day I was there was women's pro and senior pro. It didn't matter. You guys were missing those close ones in terms of 12s. People were 10ing them, I was like, so it hit me that I thought maybe the thought process is that that's close. That should be a gimme, and maybe that's messing with it a little bit. But
you still got to judge it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
The thing. So it's still like depth perception. For some reason, like with me, my depth perception is better at like 50. Like I can see things 47, I can see things 46, generally way better than I can see something. Like my numbers where I really struggle is all the way up to 41. Like I
No
can't
kidding.
tell if it's 37 or 41 half the time. So
Gotcha.
those ones, my brain is just racked. And then they threw some short ones to us. And then I was just like, is this 23 or 28?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and we practice them at home sometimes, and I generally miss them. And it's always discussed that I should practice them a little more. Um, so like Metropolis, my 12s came on like the long coyote, everything that was long.
Yeah.
I mean, I hit a couple short ones, but it was like,
I
I was
kept,
like,
I kept
there
on
was
this.
one I overjudged by 5 yards. I was so glad I aimed at lower and hit upper. I mean, I was glad it was that close that I could overjudge it by 5 yards.
Yeah, it was just interesting to me that every one I went to, I was like, all right, let me see him pack the uppers and lowers. I'm like, center 10, center 10, center. What's going on here? But it was the seniors too. It wasn't just the ladies, both. And yeah, I just thought, wow,
Well, you really don't want to shoot an 8 on them either, though.
Yeah, right.
So like that's also in your head. Like, is it 23 or 25? If I aim at lower with 23, it's probably mostly likely 23. But if I aim at it and I shoot an 8, like that's a 4-point swing with most people.
Yeah,
So then you
yeah.
put 25 on it, and maybe you break at the top of it or whatever, and it was 23. So like you're hanging out in center again.
So tell me about Joe Pitt too, your umbrella holder. He's
Yes.
always out there, and Joe Pitt's one of my favorite people in senior pro. Just that dude's always having fun no matter what. But how did he get?
I agree.
How did he get to be your designated umbrella holder?
You know what? I can't remember. It's been so many years. Like Joe's just been my guy.
Yeah.
And he made the shoot off at the last tournament. So like I would love to see him always in the shoot offs
For
instead of
sure.
holding my umbrella, but I definitely missed him out there with me. I honestly don't know how that happened, and it's been so many years, but he's such an incredible person and so happy and always smiling. And he always wears these white Crocs when he holds my umbrella and white sunglasses. So like that's like a requirement. So I told Richard Owens at the last ASA, I was like, if Joe's gonna be making these shoot offs, you need to get yourself some white Crocs, please.
And who better to replace Joe Pitt than Richard Owens? They're basically the same dude. Different
Yeah, they
energy,
are.
but where one is, the other's always there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I always talk about Joe Pitt. I remember last year in Benning when that rain was just, it was pouring. I'm walking down there, and I guess my face showed it, and there's Joe Pitt in front of me. Big smile on his face. He's like, PJ, we're making memories, man. You're going to remember this the rest of your life. And I was like, he's right. I'm never going to forget this tournament.
That's what I love about his personality. Absolutely.
What kind of stuff what's he saying when he's there holding the umbrella? Is he just keeping track of scores for you? Obviously, he's not saying, I think that's 30.
Honestly, I feel like that's part of why I love Joe up there is because I've had some umbrella holders where they are like talking me to death.
Gotcha.
One time I won one of the tournaments, but this guy's like, my daughter's obsessed with you. Can you take your picture with it? And I'm literally like aiming on the target. And I'm like, no, like what is happening? Like my anxiety's high because you're yammering my ear out. Like I love talking, but like, can we just let me shoot this target? So that has happened. I had one girl where she tucked the umbrella into her legs and fixed her hair in the middle of my aim. And so like, I think just once I found Joe, it was like, he's just peaceful.
Here we go.
Yeah, he's just there.
You do what you do. You tell me what you need.
Yeah, pretty much. And most of the time it'll just be like, great shot, good shot, like,
Yeah.
you got this. Like Richard, before we walked out there in Metropolis, he's like, you're going to win this. I just know that. And that's pretty much what he told me. And then we went out there, and I mean, the only time he ever really said anything, he's like, great shooting. You're shooting good. Like, sweet knuckle, like, I think that's why I've really, really adapted to like loving Joe out there. Cause I really, it's just like, it's just,
I'm crying.
half the
That's
time
too
we're
funny.
like, oh, it was bad. It's bad. So, like, I have learned to like be very nervous if I don't have Joe around to pick an umbrella holder. I'm like,
Oh yeah. Yeah. You don't want
so
the wrong energy out there.
yeah.
Oh, how about
Like
that?
I had
That's funny.
Kevin Koch. How do you go Kevin's
Cook.
last name?
Yeah.
Cook. He held it for me in Franklin. He was an incredible, great umbrella holder. I
He's
mean
a man of
everybody.
few words, so yeah, I could see
Yeah.
he'd just stand there and do what he needs to do.
I think that's how I'd pick an umbrella holder.
Yeah.
The less
Oh my
chatty
gosh,
one.
that's funny. Hey, Emily, can I get your autograph when we're done?
My daughter's really obsessed with you. Can we do pictures when we get done? Blah blah blah. And I was just like,
Sure. I got to take the shot first here.
so
So something else I've always wanted to ask you is you shoot a hinge, correct? I believe
I
you're.
do.
You don't switch back and forth?
nope,
No. Okay.
nope. I shoot a hinge.
I thought it was always a hinge. Sometimes I'm watching, and I know I say in the commentary, I'll be like, "Oh, that's a long hold." What's happening in your shot for what I'm seeing as a long hold? Is that a long hold for you? Do you have shots that go long, or what's you do?
Yes. Yes, I do. I've always kind of been known to actually aim really long and
Yeah.
have a longer shot. So
Yes.
when you notice it's long, it's probably pretty long. Generally, it's just probably I'm too tense up there or I'm thinking too much instead of just out there like wanting to like right here.
What's happening then? Are you like, I don't know how you activate your hinge. Are you just waiting for that to go off, or?
I shoot 70s mods. So like I
Okay.
shoot the very aggressive mod.
Yes.
So if you're not pulling, it's creeping.
I credit you for that. Those 70 mods on the Matthews bows, they're too much for me. They are rough.
They're
Continue.
too much for a lot of people. I've been told. People here I shoot 70s. They're like, you what?
Yes.
So I've always shot the 70 or 70V mod. So I have a very aggressive shot. So I generally I'm pulling really, really, really hard.
Gotcha.
So I feel like sometimes when I'm a little, like my shots are going a little longer, I might not be pulling nearly as hard as I do, or my index finger is really tense.
Oh,
which,
gotcha.
Therefore, I need to really pull. But yes, if you ever watch my shot, I'm ripping the cams off my bow. That's
Gotcha.
why I've always kind of felt like I've shot like a heavier weighted bow, just because I'm pulling so hard that I want it to sit really steady.
Yeah. And then when you let down, that's because your sight picture's just going, or in your head, are you like, this is going too long, or both?
Generally, when I let down, it's because my sight, like I've literally way overheld. I probably had 5 seconds prior where I was like, I should let down. But then I'm like, okay, commit to the shot. And then I'm like, no, don't waste the shot on this. And then finally I'm like, okay, you should probably let down because you're not sitting on the 12. And then I let down. And then I look over at the clock. I'm like, oh, great, here we go again. Time limit.
Have you ever gotten into a situation where you had to make it go?
No.
Okay.
This sounds crazy, but I never really understood how a hinge worked up until like, I guess quite a few years ago when Dan actually explained to me how it worked. So I try not to even think about how it works because I will never try to fire a hinge incorrectly. So
Gotcha.
I will run out of time. I've been so close to running out of time, especially indoor events, like on the 1 second, and luckily it just fires.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've pushed the clock very much so in a shoot off as well in ASA, and I'm pulling and praying.
So it's
like
either
it goes off.
It's gonna go, or the clock's gonna run out. You're not gonna rip it.
I don't think about how it works.
Okay.
Like I'm literally focusing on my shot execution, and pull.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So now we have to ask, as I see you're scratching Groot there, So as I learned, apparently other people know this, but as I learned at the last tournament, that at the last ASA, that you name your arrows and that apparently they're named for your pets. So was there one winner the last 3 tournaments, or did you switch animals names?
I did switch animals names. Actually, Metropolis was my mom's dog, Cleo. I shot her for that 6th and final arrow. She had shot a 12 on the coyote, and so I just chose her for the last arrow.
Okay.
And then IBOs, I generally just have my 5 animals or people picked out.
Gotcha.
And those are the ones I shoot. I don't pick them per target.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I guess in the shoot down you couldn't. I'm thinking of your qualification where you could shoot the same arrow over and over and over again, but
nope. The only one was Metropolis. So you could shoot. They give you your arrows back for your 6th and final target.
Gotcha.
And so then I looked through my animals and I was like, oh, I'll pick Cleo, because I have names of like my cousins and family members on there too.
Okay, I was going to say, how do you pick who to put on an arrow?
Well, my one arrow that I fletched really awful, I named Drax because I can't stand my cat. And so that's how that one got picked. Other than that,
the poor cat.
I know. I don't know. I just pick, but mostly if it's a bad one, it's getting called Drax.
How many?
If it's my least favorite.
Yeah. How many pets do you have? Let's run through that. I don't think I know.
I have the cat, which was just a random, showed up 7-8 years ago on the doorstep, and I fed it.
Okay.
And so we ended up with a cat. And I mean, of course, I love him because he's our cat, but he kills everything. And we used to feed like birds, and I fed possums, and I fed raccoons, and at night I'd sit there and glass them, and it was so awesome. I had this possum that was so fat, like he could barely waddle, and then I fed the cat, and the cat has killed everything I used to feed. So like that's why I have like this love-hate relationship with the cat, because he's always murdering things. Like the other day, he like ripped, like I'm trying to aim on the bag, and he rips a groundhog out of the ground squirrel out. And I'm just like running to him with my bow, and I'm chasing him down. I'm like beating him with my stabilizer to drop it. And this little ground squirrel's like, help me. And I ended up getting it and saving it. But I can't tell you how many we don't save.
Yeah.
So, and the cat has so much food. It's ridiculous. And so he just like, he eats full grown bunnies. Like he eats them all. And then he comes in and throws them up.
My wife is feeding a stray cat right now, and I am definitely. I'm thinking I'm going to end up with that cat in my house someday.
Yep. Yes, you will.
Jeez. Okay, so the cat, and then how many dogs are there?
Just Rocket and Groot.
Oh, 2.
The Shih Tzu and the Chihuahua that's right here.
Gotcha. Okay.
They were both rescue dogs. They were found in a farmer's field 10 years ago now, and yeah. And so we found them on a rescue site. They were bonded together, and that's how we ended up with a Shih Tzu and an Applehead Chihuahua.
They were together when you got them?
Yeah, they were found together in the farmer's field in wintertime. Like the Shih Tzu didn't have a haircut, and so the Chihuahua was like buried into them. And so they were like, oh man, really connected.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And then you have your arrow names for all your family members. There's like 1 million of them. I've seen your family pictures. There's a ton of them.
Yeah, I have a little obsession with my family.
So tell me so do they all, I know you've always said that you want to know the information on the shoot down so that you can send that out for your family. Are they all in one place largely, and do they get together to watch the shoot down, or are they all spread apart and they watch it on their own?
Then most of my family's all spread apart, and so they all watch it on their own.
Gotcha.
So it's like, and anymore, I don't even send them the stuff, and they watch it. Like I'll get off the shoot off, and I won't even tell them I was in like the Metropolis one, and my And it's like, congratulations. And I'm like, you watched it? Yeah, we watched it. Or my cousin's like, oh, me and Bodie are laying in bed watching you shoot right now.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I think that is so neat. Like, so incredible that, like, my family from all over, like I have my cousin in Oregon, most of my family's in Montana, a lot of them, and my mom's in Wisconsin, and they can all watch it. And
Yeah.
it's just really, really neat.
Because there would have been periods where they couldn't, unless they were there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So they'd be like,
right.
how was your tournament? And be like, oh, it went good, But now it's just like, they know before I even tell them anything.
Yes.
So that's
credit to
pretty
Cam.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all that.
The last one, I have to tell you, this is a podcast about you, but I will tell you, just so you know what happened, that last one, of course, that rain, there was like, I don't know how many, 2-3 inches of rain. It didn't hit the venue as bad, although we got dumped on too, but it hit the town of Metropolis really bad. There was huge flooding at the one underpass. So our guys, there was a lightning strike. We don't know if it hit the trailer, if it hit close, but it hit close enough that it blew everything out. Like, how long before the shoot down was that, Kyle? Like,
I would say it was like at noonish. So
like at noon,
2.5 hours.
Yeah, that everything in the trailer just got blown out, and then those guys with everything underwater had to piece it all back together just to get that thing, because theirs is the show must go on. We got to get this on the air.
Yeah, we couldn't start until it was probably about like 1:30 when we got the okay to go ahead.
Oh,
it was
yeah,
like 1:30 or maybe even close to 2. It was about an hour's worth to rush to get set up because we didn't know if we were going to have it or not.
Just nuts. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
So for the people at home, it's there's a group of guys there, our cam crew, that are just wizards. I won't believe something can't be done until they say it can't be done, because there's something else. But anyway.
Well, I appreciate all the hard work you guys do, for sure.
Well, Emily, that's all I got today. Unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about, we just wanted to get you on here to say congrats. That's awesome. 3 in a row. Triple Crown champion. That you said that's your first Triple Crown champion.
It is my first. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And so is that Shooter of the Year, that it's the best score from each of the IBOs?
Yeah. So it's for the best of each. And I've never went into one leading. So I finally got to understand like the pressure I hear from like Dan and, like the thoughts all day, you get off the range and that's all you can think about, and just like it's over with.
Yes.
Like,
so
I survived it.
Yeah. I've talked to Dan about that before, that where you want to win the tournament, but you don't want to do anything stupid and blow the Triple Crown, in this case, or ASA Shooter of the Year, whichever. So yeah, I would imagine those two demons are probably fighting in your head as you're going around that course. You're just
thinking, and you're just like, you're doing so much math, and your brain's just like, okay, we're hanging in there. We're hanging in there. One more target. Keep it going.
So what's that like? Last target of IBO. Do you know at this point, like, if as long as I don't miss this target, I got this in the bag?
I was doing the math in my head, and I felt like I had to at least 8 it to win, but I wasn't sure because she just 11 the last one.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't really too concerned about it. I felt like it was one I'd only shot 2 8s that day, which was the target right before I just 8'd, because it's one that I always consistently have overjudged, and I still overjudged it. I didn't see it. I shot it for what I believed in, and I shot high. So like that was an 8 for the day. But the last one, I don't know. I just felt like I could just put it in the middle and shoot it. It was one that I generally do fairly well on. And
did you feel any like extra anxiety on it? Like, here it is.
I honestly didn't. I don't know. I definitely spent a lot of time praying for calming for the day, and I was just I was fine. I ended up 11ing it, like right next to her arrow,
Nice.
which was good because now we have to go compete for the actual tournament. And so I didn't know exactly where the scores were for the actual tournament.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
the shoot off does not count for Triple Crown. No. Okay.
No.
So, okay. So then you shoot that last arrow and now the pressure's off of shooter or Triple Crown champion. What's that feel like? Did it feel like a weight coming off, or was it just thinking about the shoot off?
I was actually really, really thankful. And I was just like, I felt like I won the weekend. Like I was happy no matter what now.
Nice.
And then I think it was Cara said, now we got to go focus on the tournament.
And you said, like, Cara, mind your own business, man. Yeah. I'm enjoying this over here. We'll get to that.
Like, I totally wasn't even thinking about the actual tournament itself.
Yeah.
So, and then I only had a 3-point lead going into that shoot off. So
right.
Anything can happen. I honestly didn't really think about it. I spent all day the day before, instead of being negative, like picturing losing, because I feel like a lot of times I imagine getting to the top and then failing. And so the day before, like I couldn't stop thinking about like how I only had a 6-point lead. Like it would just randomly pop in. And so then I would just picture myself holding the Matthews check for Triple Crown and for the tournament. Like that's been like a dream of mine to do my entire career, to have both those moments, which they don't award you actually at that event. They award us at IBO World. So I didn't get that moment that I envisioned. But I really, like, every time my anxiety would go, that's what I would just try to focus on.
Nice.
Positiveness. And then accepting what it is. So
awesome.
And I'm beyond grateful and couldn't feel any more blessed for the way the season definitely turned around for me.
Good deal. Well, congrats, Emily. And it's not over yet. We still got the Classic, and you have IBO World Championships as well. We definitely wish you the best in that. But congratulations on your successes so far.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all that you guys do. Thank you.
All right, folks, that is another episode of the Competition Archery Media Podcast. You can find it on all the platforms, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. Thanks for being here today.